Welcome to a talk on the subject of God, evolution, and Christianity. I'm Ralph Armstrong, MD. I'm a psychiatrist and addictionist, and I've practiced neurology. I've been a professor of pastoral counseling at St. John's Seminary in Camarillo, California. I'm an Episcopalian Christian, and I have a passion for the biological sciences. So in the debate about God and evolution, what can a psychiatrist bring to the table? I find that key to understanding evolution are the roles of mind, intelligence, conflict, and suffering. The issue of bad things that happen to good people, especially the suffering of my own patients, got me interested in the study of evolution in the first place. There is a word for this. It is theodicy, which specifically means a defense of God's justice in the face of suffering. I'm going to argue that an alternative to neo-Darwinism called metadarwinism is a better theory that will meld with Christianity. It will give us a better theodicy and will enlarge our view of how God works. So how have people tried to understand the history of life and its unfolding? These 5 categories I took from a book by Fowler and Kubler titled The Evolution Controversy. First is creationism. Then there's intelligent design, neo-Darwinism, theistic evolution, and metadarwinism. The school that I adhere to is called metadarwinism. In metadarwinism, life is an agent in its adaptations. It is not passive clay that God or natural selection acts on. Furthermore, life is intelligent. It learns. It modifies itself. There's a minority of scientists, but there are prestigious scientists that follow this view. Lynn Caparella, Lynn Margulis, Anthony Trewavas, Stuart Kaufman, James Shapiro, Eva Jablonka. The figure you see at the bottom is of a tree foraminifera. It's the object built by a single-cell organism called a foraminifera. The question would be then, did God create this whole cloth, or did this creature, did it evolve naturally through mistakes and mutations and then selection, or did the creature have some say in its choices to build this object? I used a lot of James Shapiro's work, particularly in the chapter 4, which was the chapter of Life Modifies Itself. And I used his scientific papers. Well, James Shapiro just came out with a book entitled Evolution, A View from the 21st Century, and I was very gratified to see it. Dr. Shapiro writes that not one, but that there are many ways that living organisms can actively change themselves. He subscribes to natural genetic engineering, the ability of living cells to manipulate and restructure their DNA. And in his scheme, innovations range from single nucleotide substitutions to reorganizations of entire genomes. So to conclude part 1 then, life, the view that I'm going to take in these talks, is that life is not clay, but it's an active agent in life's adaptations. With this new paradigm, we can begin to answer the challenges to Christianity. And we can begin to see how God may work. And furthermore, there's another question though, what is life? So in summary, we've seen that evolution and the biological sciences offer both opportunities and challenges to Christianity. We have seen the 5 schools of thought: creationism, intelligent design, theistic evolution, neo-Darwinism, and metadarwinism. And we've seen that they've tried to make sense of the evolution of life and for us Christians how God may work. But wait, they're talking about life evolving, but what is life in the first place? To address this question, we turn to molecular and cell biology and evolutionary biology to see in more detail what St. Paul said in Romans 1:20, how God's everlasting deity is visible in the things that he has made. In other words, we're going to take the microscope to the, quote, the things that he has made. Is this life we describe material, or is it of another order? The core explanatory gap is, how do millions, even billions of molecules come to function in a collective, purposeful mode that extends over distances orders of magnitude larger? That's a quote from Franklin Harold, a prominent biologist. Now, is the animation of life simply energy transfer, or is it more? Is it material, or is it transcendental? It's an assumption. It forms a model of life and a worldview that stands by itself. It's a scientific worldview. And I've quoted a number of metadarwinists, including Lynn Caparella, Eva Jablonka, and Marian Lamb, and James Shapiro, that think this way. Others include Lynn Margulis and Simon Conway Morris. Anthony Trewavas holds a similar view about plants. Stuart Kaufman is a metadarwinist and a professor at the University of Calgary, and he writes in his book, Redefining the Sacred, that creative, agentive, and unimaginably complex life is God enough for him. He's an atheist, so he'll stop there. But it suggests to him that this worldview can be something that diverse faiths, religions, and people with no faith can agree on. I think he's absolutely right.